Hi, this is Dan here. I hope you're doing really well today. In this lesson, I've got 3 minor to major pentatonic bassline exercises. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split up the lesson. I'm going to just teach you the 3 first with a pattern, 2 patterns. Then I'm going to explain some of the theory behind it so you can make your own stuff up, okay? So this is what you need to learn first, and it's just an A minor pentatonic pattern with this specific fingering arrangement. Okay, so I've got my first finger on the 5th fret, that's the A of the E string, and just follow along. That's A minor pentatonic, and I'm going 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3. Those are the finger numbers I'm using, and it's very much 1 finger per fret. Then shift across, so you've got your 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the E string, that's C, and now we've got 2 4 1 4 1 4 1 3, and that's the finger numbers. And for each of the exercises, we're sticking to that fingering pattern, okay? Although if you do find something that you prefer, feel free to use it. This is the first one. I'll just take those 2 bars. You can play those 8th notes however you like. I was keeping them a little bit sort of short, long. Another way to do it is to keep it a bit more even, up to you. So we're just going up, ascending that pattern. Up to the E, 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the A string. And then at that point, we've got 2 16th notes, which are hammered on from the 5th to the 7th fret, the G to the A. So you pluck, and I have my 3rd finger arranged so that it's just about an inch above fret 7. So with the fingertip, just after you've plucked the 5th fret, you want to keep that finger nice and rigid, nice and curled, and come down on the fingertip as hard as you can to get that note as loud as the plucked. That's a hammer on, okay? And I'm just plucking with the index, and my middle is already ready to play the next note. And this is the kind of 1 finger in the future, I call it, really. And it's just having a finger ready, be it on this hand or this hand, a finger ready to pluck or to fret the next note. And that really will lead to economy of motion, which leads to speed and accuracy, fluency, all these things that we want in our playing. So when you get to that C there, 1st finger, 5th fret of the G string, you just descend. And that's why if you know the pattern, you can really just follow a shape rather than reading the tab or the notation. So once more. At that point, we have a smooth but confident shift to get your 2nd finger onto the 8th fret, and we follow the same arrangement, really. We just go up, and then the next bit is the hammer on again with the 16th notes, and then. So that's the first one. Let's go to the second one. Similar idea, we've got a different arrangement though. So here we're going root to the octave. Now notice here, I've actually switched from playing the octave with 3rd finger to little finger. You can use that if you want. Actually, perhaps for now I'll stick with 3rd finger. And then we've got a series of fast runs here. If this is too hard, and if this is too fast, and if you can't play to the backing track, then don't. Don't play to the backing track, just slow it right down. I'm doing it quite slowly now. So there's no rush to play these, you know, up to speed right now. I mean, this bit it goes like this. It's quite tricky, so do it slowly. If I'm starting with index, I'm going index, middle, index, like this. And if starting with middle, it's middle, index, middle, alternate plucking. But on the way back down from this top here, I tend to do this. I'm going index, middle, and then following through with the middle to rake. That's called raking when you pluck in this direction using 1 finger. So if it's index, middle, middle, or it's middle, index, index. Sounds a bit weird, but you'll get it. Okay, so I'll do that bit again. know if you noticed there, I do different things with muting, and just there, as I'm plucking higher strings, the G and the D, I'm just getting this thumb here, it's the floating thumb technique, just to touch the E and the A strings, so there's no extraneous noise going on at all. Then we shift to the C and do the similar thing. Again, really slow, especially there because you've got first to little finger, a little bit of a stretch there. And your aim here is to get it smooth, you know, to get it up to speed. However long that takes you, it doesn't really matter. Articulate those notes so they're all, you know, one by one, kind of quite machine gun-like there. Okay, and then you repeat. Let's go to the last one. I think it's my favorite one. We've got this. So we've got two A's, and then we've got a series of hammer-ons again with these 16th notes. So it's just fret 5 to 7 on the A and on the D. Now you might want to just isolate that little bit. I'm going index, and the longer middle finger's ready to play that D even before it needs to. Similar thing here, we've got fingers 1 and 3. You got the pluck and then the hammer on. As soon as that third finger is coming down and the first finger's done its job, your first finger is off to the 5th fret of the D string, going to the next note before it's needed. This is the kind of thing you want to practice with your technique. You have to be really aware of all these things I'm talking about and really focus in on both hands. Most people, by the way, look at this hand and forget this, so make sure you're also looking at this hand. Just do it slowly, build it up, and you'll get it. And it goes. We've got a 16th immediately into a dotted 8th. So that's this rhythm. And it's tied. That's a little tie to the A, the same note. And you do the shift again, nice confident shift. And notice how slowly I'm doing it. If you need to go even slower than that, do it. It's a bit of a stretch here. It's a little bit of, you know, an ask to get the fingers and the hands coordinated, but, you know, that's good. A challenge is a good thing. Okay, so those are the 3 exercises. We've got an A minor chord for 2 bars going to a C chord. And why this works is this is in the key of C major or A natural minor. Those are relative keys. If you look at this diagram, you can see that they contain exactly the same notes: A, C, D, E, and G. If we go A, C, D, E, G, starting from an A, we get 5 notes. That's why it's called a pentatonic scale. And that is an A minor pentatonic scale. If you start those same notes from a C, you get a C major pentatonic scale. Now, both these scales come from the, you know, C major scale and A natural minor scale. We're just taking the pentatonic versions of those and in this particular lesson, dealing just with those. So it's just a very, very simple, very common chord progression that when you go from like a minor chord to its relative major or vice versa. And what you can do is you can get the backing track and just improvise, you know, so like something like... That's 2 bars, then shift. So you're starting to learn to improvise and make up your own bass lines using, I guess, a bit of music theory and patterns, and just kind of also restricting yourself. 1 pattern, moving to a 2nd pattern, you know, 2 bars of that one, 2 bars of that one. You can follow my exercises, but I'd also quite like you to make up your own thing. That's really what it's all about. A lot of my lessons teach that, you know. Here's something you can learn, now you use it. And hopefully that's just not too difficult in terms of music theory, just to grasp those 2 things. I think that's enough for now anyway. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. I'll link to another exercise here that is one of my favorite exercises to play on bass. I like musical exercises that you can then take and use in actual music, in bass playing, making up bass lines and also hearing your favorite bass lines. So check that one out. Let me know if you've got any questions. Otherwise, Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next lesson.